Hello, everyone. Welcome to YFA, your weekly podcast covering gaming, movie, TV show, and comic book news. I am your host, Abe. Sadly, today it's just me. We do not have Al. He was a little busy, couldn't make it for the podcast this weekend, or actually, we just had conflicting schedules for the weekend. But this weekend coming up, we should be able to film the podcast for the week. But let's jump right in. There's not really much for me to exactly kind of cover. There were a couple of not just a couple of announcements. We had some massive announcements last week, and massive in the extent that they kind of encompassed or were the kind of like the things that stuck out last week. So for last week, we had Shadow of the Erd Tree obviously release with mixed reviews because the DLC is quote unquote too hard, like to a degree. Now, folks, I have played the DLC. So far, I'm enjoying my time with it. I think what people were hoping for is a lot different than what I was expecting. I think a lot of people were going in expecting, oh, this is going to be a boss rush. I can just one boss at a time, boom, 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 beat him up, boom, 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 get through the whole DLC and call it a day. It's like, oh, the base game's a joke, yada yada, Well, not even the base game's a joke. It's just after you understand the system, the tools at hand that you have that could help you, conquer these challenges. It not that it trivializes the game, it makes the game more easier to play. Big example, or you can just play magic and kill all of the fucking bosses like it's nothing. You can set it up like a level 10 mage and beat the game like nothing, right? But that's not really the case here with Shadow of the Erd Tree. You can't just really you could still go in as a magic build, but you have to be more methodical with how you fight. A lot of these bosses are very quick. That is one of the things. They have a very quick, a lot of combos. There's very small windows of damage. It's basically a battle of attrition. You really got to pull out all the stops. You got to use every tool in your arsenal to come out on top. And that's where I think FromSoft is doing the big middle finger to to some of the elite players, and not to bash any of the elite players. There are some players that are you need to play this way to experience the game. And personally, I believe my first playthrough was a mage, because in the previous FromSoft games Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 3's DLCs, Dark Souls. I know I didn't play Dark Souls. Oh, actually, I played Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne. They were all strength builds. I didn't deviate to dex. I didn't even use katanas. I didn't use anything. I was all pure strength build. I didn't divert anything. Nada. I think the only time I ever diverted and played a caster was in Dark Souls 1 as a paladin type lightning build thing. And at the time that was my first Dark Souls game, so I didn't really know what to do. But anyways, so in Elden Ring, I decided to dive into more mage stuff, and man, this DLC kicks your ass. You really got to have your health up. If your HP is below 1,000, you're gonna get rocked. You're not gonna survive anything. You gotta really bring your A game to this DLC. It is not for the weak-hearted. I gotta tell you that. But what I mean by sticking in a middle finger to the elite players, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of people think you need to play a certain way. You need to do no summons, fucking no Ash of War, pure strength, sword and shield, no guard counter. There's some crazy people are you gotta play it this way. It's how you're gonna experience. No. Play the game how you want to play. If you want to play a guy with a giant ass fucking sword just jumping and fucking slamming on the ground. Do that. That if you want to play like that, do that. If you want to be a fucking ninja, fucking mage guy, and you just want to do like quick movements, but also cast spells at the same time, you can do that. You can fucking be a brick wall paladin holding up your shield and blocking damage from bosses and just fucking face tanking everything and just call like you can literally play the game how you want. I personally I like playing with like my summons and like going into battle. I like doing that. I like group fights and shit. So, I mean, my favorite fights in Elden Ring are. I would say my favorite fights I did by myself, solo, where Godfrey, Melania, well, Melania, the beginning first half of my deaths, I didn't mind fighting Melania by myself. I think it was after that is when I used Black Knife Teach. But, huh. Moog, Morgott, I did those by myself. And yeah, it just, there's like certain bosses where I was just like, I'm just gonna summon. I just want to summon. There's like no point. Or not even that. It's just like, I want to beat this boss. Fuck if someone calls me bitch ass pussy. Oh my god, you're using summons. It's like, okay, but you can use magic. You can use weapon arts. You can use, so basically what you're telling me is use none of the new shit that they added with Elden Ring and just fucking expect me to beat it like it's Dark Souls 1. Fuck no. We're going to use everything we got to beat these bosses. I currently am stuck on the second, no, technically the first boss of the area, like the first like kind of like requirement boss. Not the Lion Dancer, it's the Renella, Relina, whatever. It's a twin sister of Renala. She's very tough, has high amounts of poise. She does not stagger, which I feel like she should, because I'm not gonna lie, she fucking is unrelenting. This is where I kind of agree with some of the people saying it's a little too hard. Is when it just feels like they just turn the dial of the attack speed up and the aggression of enemies like just up. It's so weird, but you know, it's a fun fight. It's not a frustrating fight. It's just more like you really don't have a window to counter her. But overall, the DLC, art direction, music, everything 10 out of 10 across the board. Would recommend. Just try anything you want. Be a mage, be a fucking wizard. I mean, sorry, that's literally the same thing. Be a paladin, be like a strength dude. You can fucking use like fucking like boxing gloves and box up bosses and kick ass. You can do anything. Just do whatever you want. It's a fucking amazing game. There's like so much shit you can do. But yeah, the DLC, 10 out of 10. Would recommend. I really love the DLC so far. I haven't beaten it yet. There are a lot of bosses and a lot of player areas to explore. My favorite area so far has to be the Jagged Peaks area. It's like this mountain area. It's so cool. But next there was, I believe, a Nintendo Switch event some time this week. Am I wrong? Am I right? Hold on. There was blah 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 blah. Fuck. Was there one? Shit, hold on. Basically, if I remember, we had a Nintendo Switch kind of state of play. I forgot what they're called. Oh my god, they're called like a Nintendo Direct. There you go, Nintendo Direct. Jesus, couldn't remember. But we had a Nintendo Direct, I believe. Oh, crap. It was a couple days ago. Yeah, we had a Nintendo Direct for for a lot of games that are going to be coming out to Nintendo Switch this year, I think, or some of them. Basically, the up and coming, you know, games of Nintendo's roster, their little state of play. Some key players that showed up, and I'm telling you right now, the first one, I'm announcing it right here and right now. Marvel 2 collect, or not even Marvel 2, just the Marvel Games collection from it's Capcom. So that was huge because Maximilian Dude, if you don't know, is a YouTuber who basically kind of was like, we need to revive Marvel. Everybody remembers Marvel. It was like this like fighting game event where they played like Marvel 2 tournaments and like everyone had fun or whatever. And no one thought they were going to re-release Marvel 2 because it was stuck on like practically old gen like forever, and plus the legality with Marvel and their characters and all that crap. Like someone went above and beyond to do this. So we're getting Marvel collection of games. Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel versus Street Fighter versus Marvel, just the whole 9 yards, and like a Punisher game. There's a bunch of basically Marvel versus Capcom games in it, and some specific Marvel Capcom games, and it's looking great. I'm excited. Marvel's back, baby. Let's go. And then we also got a Metroid Prime 4, or Metroid Prime 4. I remember hearing about this back in high school. Everyone's like, "Oh, Metroid Prime 4, oh my god, please, please." But I'm just like, whoa. I'm just blown away by all the games that they showed off. I know I just listed off one, but I'm trying to remember off the top of my head because I'm so sorry, folks. But this week I did not get a spreadsheet up, so this is literally just running off the top of my head right now. I watched it while I was at work. That showcase was insane in the sense that Marvel took the show, in my opinion. We also got Metroid. I think we also got another Pokemon game and some other stuff. Let me see if I am correct. We have... Okay, so we had... Oh, right. Sorry. So we had Mario and Luigi Brothership. That was cool. We also had, obviously, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. We also have Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. Darkest Dungeons 2, which if you don't know that game, that is, I believe it was a PC game. Now it's coming to Nintendo Switch. We also have Lego Horizon Adventures. They revealed that. Stray is also coming. We're also getting Tales of the Shire, Lord of the Rings, the video game. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. That's pretty fucking cool. We're also getting, but obviously at the very end of the showcase is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now, like I said, heard about this like way back when I was in high school. I always heard like rumors in school like, oh, they're making Metroid Prime 4. It should release soon. And like literally never saw the light of day until fairly recently. So thank God that's coming out. But yeah. Oh, and the correct name, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. That's the name of the title for the Marvel and Capcom. And just a preface, it's not a Switch exclusive. It is coming to all consoles. It was just announced at Nintendo's little event. So if you want to check that out, just go on YouTube, look up the Nintendo Direct. They have all of the timestamps for all the announcements, including the intro and all that other stuff. Just if you want to just skim through and go like, oh, okay, I want to see what the trailer looks like for this or that, just go ahead and check it out. But I think that's pretty much off the top of my head what I remember being announced for the week of gaming. I'm actually kind of excited for Mario and Luigi Brothership. This is the first, well, not the first. It's the first time in a while that we've seen Mario and Luigi together in a video game. I think the last one was inside Bowser or whatever. It was like it basically they were inside Bowser, and like you could switch between Bowser. Well, no, not that you switched between Bowser, but you're basically you'd switch between the brothers inside of Bowser, and then you would switch to Bowser, who would be on the outside, like moving through like areas and stuff. And basically, you try to like, I think you would work with Bowser to get the brothers out while the brothers are inside Bowser trying to survive and like do shit. It's been a very long time since I've seen that video game, but anyways, that's all I could remember off the top of my head from last week. But oh, and then obviously, because everything's finally released and it's all out, Destiny 2, the final shape, including the season called, or not the season, the episode called Echoes, fully released. Well, the story for Echoes is not fully done, but it's fully released and available to play. It is a 9 out of 10 expansion. Bungie really cooked with this one. Prismatic is amazing. The story is amazing. The Echoes so far is pretty fucking good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not going to lie. The weapons are great. The quality of life changes are amazing. I can have my friend who hasn't played like 10 years join me on a raid, like the brand new raid, without them having to grind or anything. As long as I have the highest level in the fire team, they can join me and have fun. This expansion just brought a lot of quality of life stuff, which is great. I am still hurt from Lightfall, from story-wise. Quality of life-wise that came from Lightfall was great, but story-wise just felt like it fell over, in my opinion. But the Bungie devs cooked. This expansion is great. I still wait in bating breath because the end of the year, or the end of the last episode for the year, is going to go into this thing that they labeled as Destiny 2 Frontiers. I wonder if it's going to be next gen only Destiny, which I hope it is. Not to diss on any of my last gen boys still on the PlayStation 4, but I would like to see this game on newer hardware, like to see how far they can push the limits of the game, because like I said, besides it running on an old engine, it's running on pretty old decade hardware. Literally last gen hardware. I feel like once we are detached from that, next gen it's just going to be great. That's what I'm hoping for. I obviously I hope the stories just keeps pushing for more and more better quality. Like I said, I know a lot of people are burned from Lightfall, but I feel that this expansion doesn't actually right all those wrongs that happen. I just wanted to see the ending of this whole story and see where it was at. And I felt like it was paid off, in my opinion. And I felt I got my dollar's worth for this expansion. So if anyone wants to pick it up now. The game's pretty great. It's in a healthy state. It's a lot easier to get into. There's in-game LFG and all the quality of life stuff I've already mentioned. So yeah. Elden Ring and Destiny competing for probably one of the best DLCs of the year. I'm not gonna lie, Elden Ring got it, like it's landslide, but we'll have to see because everyone's very mixed on Elden Ring right now. But for movie news, I didn't see a lot of movie news, to be honest. Usually I do keep up with my like kind of like movie Marvel. Usually a lot of like Marvel and Warner Brothers stuff. Not really so much independent stuff, which I want to get more involved with. With that being said, actually, I know A24 is coming out with more stuff, and I think well, A24 is always coming out with more shit. But anyways, yeah, like I usually just keep up with the two like big heads so far. I like with like I said, Marvel and DC. But let me quickly just pull up this. Movie news. Sorry, I'm super unprepared. This is very unprofessional of me, I will say. But like I said, I was a little busy and I didn't make the spreadsheet, so I kind of really fucking really bit me in the ass. But last week, let's see, more stories. So obviously, Inside Out came out last week. From what I heard, it was I don't know why I'm blanking. I probably should have taken a little rest before doing this podcast. My brain is like fried from work, but I'm gonna try to stick it together, folks. I'm gonna try to get through this podcast as quickly as I can. But obviously, we had some releases last week. We had obviously Inside Out became 2024's first must-see movie, even beating Barbie in its second weekend. Wow, that's actually insane. Next we have a couple other things. We actually no, we're gonna save that news for this week. There's just a lot more news for this week, which I'm so sorry, folks. I wish we could have recorded this and kind of cataloged all the stuff for the month, but this is I'm apologizing so much because this is super unprofessional. I usually get this done, but I never did. Fuck, man. Okay, well we're just gonna do gaming news. I know last week we had the Inside Out movie come out. I heard it was pretty good. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of funny jokes in it, and obviously because there's new characters, anxiety, shyness, the French name of I don't know, and then there's like a new character, Nostalgia, who only shows up for like a couple minutes, I think. But I will probably see it. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on it. I watched the first Inside Out, thought it was pretty cool. I don't know about Inside Out 2. From what I heard, it was pretty fun to watch. But yeah, I didn't hear that much about like movie stuff last week. Like maybe I know we had a couple weeks ago we had The Watchmen, we had Lollipop Chainsaw. Before that, that I'm thinking of fucking gaming news at the same time. Sorry. We had the Adventure Time movie, I believe, and The Blade being fucking Jesus. Blade just being in fucking pre-production hell. I feel bad for the actor. I hope Marvel compensates him for like literally he probably had to put off so many projects on hold because he's going to play Blade, and it just hasn't. Nothing's come out of Blade at all, which I'm like, how hard is it to fucking make a Blade movie? How hard is it to make a vampire movie about a dude that literally is he's half human, half vampire? I can't remember. Or if he's like full vampire and he can walk in the sun. Because his name's the Daywalker. But yeah, that's all I know from movie news that off the top of my head. Movie news of the week. TV news, obviously, Boys season 4 is out. People are watching it. From my personal friend group, heard it's been kind of mixed. Some of them are like, I don't like the season. It's a little like super kind of gross. It's like really pushing the line. And then they're like, general consensus is this season's been pretty fucking goated. Like it's really good. It's a little over the top, but it's really good, and the writing's pretty good. Everyone's excited about season 5 and everything. Obviously, I think we had a Smiling Friends episode last week, which was fucking hilarious, as always. And that's about it. That's all I remember from TV shows this week. Obviously, I don't know the comic news. Al would be the one who would know the comic news for the week. And obviously, very scuffed today. Sorry about the unprofessionalism. You know what? That's what this podcast name will be. Episode 19, Unprofessionalism. Or just Unprofessional. R rated. A18. This is so just raw and just visceral. But sorry for it being short. I mean, I played like a lot of games this week. I also watched a ton of shit this week. I decided to do the PWRs at the end because guess what, fuckers? It's just only me, and that's probably the only thing that's gonna keep me talking and at least keep you guys interested and pulled in. So this week I played obviously Destiny 2: The Final Shape. Really good. Prismatic is so much fun. The customization that comes with Prismatic, having the mixed matched abilities in the game, is really fun. I've been having so much fun on my Hunter, toying with different builds and using it for different types of situations. I also played Fortnite this week. Sorry, not this week. Last week, I played Fortnite. Just leveling up the battle pass, trying to get all the Fallout Fortnite Fallout stuff in the battle pass and everything. I also played obviously Shadow of the Erdtree because it quite literally came out Friday. Super excited about that. Was able to get in, really enjoyed the open world so far. But that's about it. I didn't play much. I literally was probably zoned in on the Final Shape last week, and Elden Ring. I didn't really play much besides obviously Fortnite and stuff. TV shows. I actually watch a lot of TV shows. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Netflix. I've also watched a little bit of, what do you call it? Oh, my back. A little bit of One Piece, the TV show on Netflix. And then I rewatched. I just pulled it up on my phone. I think it was free last week. Was it free last week? I can't remember. But I watched The Iron Giant. Speaking of Iron Giant, I guess game I did play this week was Multiverses. I did play Multiverses and Helldivers a little bit towards the beginning of the week, but most of the week has been Final Shape and Shadow of the Erdtree. But books, I actually read more Victor Bond. But I need to get in contact with that author. I really don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. Hopefully I am his last name. But Victor, let's just call him Boone. Victor Boone, really cool. Wait, is it Victor Bond? Oh my God, wait. No, yeah, Victor Bond. What am I thinking? You know what it is? Is because this character's name in the book, his name is Robert. And the title of the book is called Victor Boone. Well, I mean, that's the hero that Robert plays. You know what? I'm fucking overthinking this. But basically, I read more chapters. It's getting more and more, like, entangled. I'm gonna spoil the first chapter. But basically, the dude Robert, he's a bit husky. He's on the heavier side, but he has all these superpowers: super speed, super strength, super perception, smell, all this the Superman kit. But he can turn invisible, and basically his world like kind of works like the boys, where there's logic. You know, he has some, check for inertia and like all that other stuff, and like whiplash. And, he has to control his powers and make sure he doesn't get anyone hurt. And what I mean by it's like the boys, there's some scenes where it gets kind of gruesome. Well, the beginning scenes do. Victor Bond, who is the front man of the actual superhero, which is Robert, he gets shot during like a bank standoff, and obviously Robert gets pissed and grabs the fucking robber that killed him and like shoves him through a concrete wall and beats his face into the ground and like leaves a fucking red mist of like blood, and it's just insane. But basically this girl that Robert knew in college is like, here, I'm gonna shoot you because I think you're the person who's been doing all the good deeds, because the front man who Robert was able to convince to be like the superhero, in actuality, in real life, was a dick. He just bullied Robert growing up, making fun of him for being fat, whatever, right? And he dies, and she's like, I'm not convinced he was a good person. There's no way. The one person in the universe that gets powers is the jackass from college, right? So she fucking just blasts Robert, and he obviously goes like, he's like, I'm hurt, and then like, she's like, yeah, go ahead, call the cops. And he's like, fuck, okay, I do have powers, but don't tell anyone, fuck off, type stuff. He just doesn't want to take the responsibility of being a hero because he himself doesn't see himself as a hero. He's just a really overweight dude with some wacky powers, and he kind of just likes to live secluded from the world. But she basically comes to him and tells him, hey, I know you don't like this, but the world needs you. They need the superhero that was behind Vic Boone. And that's where I finished reading. So that was cool. That was a good first couple chapters. I'm excited to keep reading it. But that's pretty much my PWRs for the week. That's been the podcast, actually. This is a really short podcast. I know, very unprofessional. Not a lot of organization because I completely forgot to fucking put up an Excel file for Al to put his stuff in, and I forgot to put some of my stuff. I even forgot to write my stuff down like I usually do on my little notepad. But this weekend, way more organized. We should be able to have a more organized podcast for the week. Oh, wait, before I forget, remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if we missed anything for the week. Obviously, I missed a shit ton, but let us know. Like I said, we'll be back on track to record an episode this week, and I'll see you guys later.